on July 14th to order. And please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, looking for approval of June 9th, 2025 minutes as presented.
I'll approve.
Are you making a motion to approve?
Yes.
A motion, looking for a second?
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? All right, call for vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes, all right. Peer permit application, Majenovich, hope I did that right, sorry if I didn't. Please come on up and, we'll discuss it.
I see I made one mistake on my permit before we start. I got the size of the shoreline as 50 feet, it should be 60 feet. Where I put 25 feet, it should be 35 feet. So it's correct?
Well, you're saying to the south, 25 feet should actually be 35.
Yeah, that's right,
And on the other side, 21 feet still remains the same.
that's right.
Okay, I'm sorry, the south should say 35?
Yeah, 25 should be 35.
Okay, thank you.
The only question I have on the north side, it says 21 feet. Is that 21 feet to the pier or to the proposed boat lift that is going on the west side there?
I measured it from the borderline to the edge of the pier.
And most lifts are probably.
It's still good.
Yeah. You got your setback.
Yeah, so what I'm doing, really what I'm doing is I'm replacing the pier, and I'm also doing the riprap. I got a permit from the county, but basically what I'm doing is I got my boat on the south side. I'm gonna move it to the north side, but I don't have enough room, so I'm moving it over to make that room. And then my pier is gonna be 4 more feet longer than it was because my boat sticks out that much at the moment in time.
Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion for the board?
I move to approve.
Okay, got a motion to approve, got a second? Call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, peer permit application, Nicholson River Road parcel between 6609 Riverside Road and 6601 Riverside Road. Start Fox River Park Sutton. All right, does not fall under the purview of Racine County Section 20-1016 pyramid. Please come up.
Nope.
All right, you're there, you beat me to it. All right, tell us what's going on.
Basically, we want to put a small pier down there. There's 3 sections, 18 feet long. And basically, so that the residents of the subdivision can launch their boat, tie it off to there, go back, park the vehicle, and then use the waterway. This parcel of land has been with the neighborhood since 1929. And the landowners have been taking care of it since 67. And that's where the roadway was kind of given back to the township. But the 2 lots were for the use of the subdivision. The last couple of years, we've had an agreement with the waterway district for them to install a ramp to have egress for the weeds. And that relationship is going well. We see the benefits of having them use that property because the waterway is a lot more navigable, and I think it's benefiting the whole community as a whole. So with that ramp being in there now, we would just like to improve it a little bit so that we could just use it for that purpose. It's basically for launching boats for a few people in the subdivision. I went around and talked to everybody, and there's mixed usage. I mean, some people, there's a handful of us that use it for launching a boat. There's a few that use it just for kayaks and canoes. There's some that want to just have it strictly for fishing off of, just viewing Sunset Bay or whatever. So I had 15 yays on it. I had 1 no, and then there was a few people that are not permanent residents there that I could not get a hold of. So as a whole, it was a positive outreach from everybody involved.
Questions from the commission?
you plan on having any boats tie up there overnight?
No, there's gonna be no lifts, no overnight parking. It's just strictly to put your boat in and out, just more of a convenience.
So back in 2023, there was a special meeting.
Correct.
I'm assuming you were in attendance for that.
Yep.
meeting. There was some discussion regarding who legally owns that property. I know I've lived out here my entire life and been on the planning commission for 5+ years now. I know there's been a lot of discussion about these properties that, when it comes into question, who actually owns it? And without a tax identification number, I think there was some discussion back at that meeting. Who really owns that, whether it's the town, if it's the Stark subdivision? And I only ask, I work in the risk management business, I'm an insurance guy, safety guy. From a liability standpoint, we put this pier in. Let's just, it's a horrific situation, hypothetical right here. A child drowns off that pier. Who legally is responsible for that property?
I would almost like to ask, I don't know if Dennis had inquired about that, but I believe it would fall back on your homeowner policy.
Whose homeowner's policy?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it would be as a group, would that insurance or however go back and that, I'm not an insurance guy, I'm not a lawyer.
And I'm not an attorney either, so I would look for some legal counsel on this. When those types of situations
Oh, sure.
happen,
Sure.
everyone's pointing, it's the Stark Homeowners
Right.
Association. Perhaps they don't want to get involved with it, so they're pointing to the town. Who owns it? And I think that has to be clearly defined, or else we could see ourselves in a sticky situation.
Well,
And
it's
that's
like,
something the town wants to avoid.
sure, no, I totally understand, and honestly, our other parcel of land has a pier on it. It's had a pier on there since I moved in there, so the last 30 years, we've had a pier there. There's a few of us who maintain the pier, build it, put it in, take it out. You know, you're kind of always trying to maintain that pier to a standard that nobody would get hurt. You know, you don't want somebody to fall, hurt, get pinched on something, whatever. So, yeah, I mean, for 30 years, I've often wondered that myself. It's like, if something happens, I mean, you can sit here and live your whole life like, if it happens, but I see where you're going with a legal standpoint, but at the same time, I
Because
believe
how we typically handle these situations, because I live at 6902 North Michigan Road, and there's a property there, there's a whole bunch of these properties scattered around the
Sure.
Michigan Lake area that back in the day, it was kind of written on a napkin, who owns this stuff, right? And there's a couple of properties around here that we have been advised by legal that those are the types of situations we want to really be cautious about, because
well, it's kind of brought to my attention like a couple other subdivisions like Blue Herring, Golden Bay, Waterford Woods, and even like ours now. What do them other three, do you know what they're, because we're kind of all in the same boat, if you will, that you have multiple people using the one property. You know, are they showing you proof of insurance that in order for them to have their pier, or are you?
I'm not proof of insurance, but ownership.
Sure.
Proof of ownership. And I think that's the question, at least that I have, is who owns it?
So how many people are in your housing association over there?
There's 20 off-water lots, and I think I provided the list of the
And
names.
you guys all pay your yearly dues and stuff like that for maintenance and stuff like that, or how's that worked over there?
It's basically, we don't have an association. And with the verbiage of the what is it, the 29 and 67, 67 is kind of when it kind of went back to the homeowner. So in here, it's worded that when the taxable people can maintain those properties, which we've been doing since that time. So it is an odd predicament because there is no individual tax key for that parcel. Those parcels were dedicated for those homeowners via the original Starks family developers. And that's just kind of how it's been going since. So there is, you know, we don't pay dues. It's just kind of a group effort to maintain the property, whether it's mowing, upkeep, tree falls, taking that out. We get a group effort to put the pier in and take it out on the common lot. And so,
Who's paying for this new pier for this approach?
actually, there's three people who were on the water who all bought new aluminum piers. So they had older wooden piers that they were getting rid of, they were just upgrading. So as we were putting in our pier this year, we saw that they were giving those piers away, or they were just gonna break them up, and we're like, well, let's just take the three best sections and we're gonna put them in. So as a rule, I mean, whenever we do something, if there's an expense, we just kind of say, okay, well, like one year, the one guy paid for the new post for the pier when they got broke from the ice that came down. Myself, I've paid for a lot of the repairs on the other pier that we have. So it's just kind of it's a group effort, a common effort. Like I said, not everybody uses it exclusively, but as a group, we just maintain it, and it's kind of the old, everybody gets along and everybody benefits, and there's not a problem.
Tony, do you have any knowledge of this, or, Dale, you were part of this came up several years ago. Do you recall this?
Well, we've all got a copy of the June 26, 2023 meeting, and motion to state that the town wouldn't have any ownership of the parcel failed to pass, so I'm not sure.
Close, but 3-2. I don't remember, it's been so long ago, so.
But I think I'd have to lean on legal advice as to, to be devil's advocate, they already have a pier on the beach.
100%, yeah.
So would it be any different if they put one here? But if something did happen, as Commissioner Dickinson mentioned, the town get dragged into, a lawsuit.
But you say the same about the other pier. Who's responsible for that? That's not allowed, or is that part of yours?
That's part of ours, and on the 25 plot map, it actually shows that pier there. It shows the 3 bathing houses, which no longer exist, and it shows the original pump well, which is still there and functioning. So that thing's been in there a long time without, I don't know if the Starks owned it back then.
Is that a common area where that beach is?
Yes.
With a tax parcel number?
No,
there's no parcel number. Yeah, it's not so much the design I'm concerned about, it's just the liability to the town.
Can't they just combine those parcels together?
No, they're not close to each other, but what happens, getting back to the one that you're talking about, that one was specifically set up in their plat. Way back in 25, it actually shows, like he said, the bathhouses, all of that, and the pier. So what's done then is that Kathy assesses them 1/20th or 1/19 of water rights. So that's that one, I don't know about that. Other.
The ones for larger with it. Right, you can tie that back to something, right? This is, I think, what the question is, who, right? And when bad things happen, everyone's pointing fingers.
well, I get it, but based on the documentation that we have, that basically says the town doesn't own it. It falls back to the homeowners of Starks, Fox River Park First Edition. So that right there washes the town of any liability, and then it puts it back onto the homeowners.
Not if we grant them you a pier. That means the town has given you the rights to a pier. So we're complicit at that point.
And like I said, I'm just going off of the documentation that says that the town wouldn't own the land. We own, it falls back on the 20 homeowners. So even though you gave us permission to have a pier on there for the waterway, I mean, I'm not sure how, maybe you could elaborate on that for me, but.
So my concern, I share that same concern. If there's no ownership connected for this, if something goes wrong, everyone's gonna get lumped into this lawsuit, and that would include the town because the town is the one that gave the green light on it. So unless, trying to think off the top of my head, if there would be some sort, there'd have to be some sort of agreement or something possibly recorded that would absolve the town of liability that way, but it's still, it looks messy unless there's some sort of ownership.
Can we work with the assessor and have them have ownership for it and then draft an agreement taking the town out of it? And Cassie could, then Kathy could reassess it to, like the first parcel you mentioned, Tina, 120th back there.
Kathy is on right now.
Huh?
Kathy is on right now, if you want me to.
Well, no.
Oh, just, yeah, okay.
But
If,
I
if
think
there
that would be a cleaner way to do it, and then you don't have a problem, then we can grant your thing, you know what I mean?
Right.
But right now, there's a lot of ifs and unknown, a little bit. It looks like that's been the case since 2023 or before that.
Right, even like back in '94, when the title company, I think, gave a letter to Mr. Dubus, thinking that there was no documentation after 25, when in fact we found the 29, the 67, and even the 78 example of a deed with the verbiage that it's for the people. Those 20 people are not the town.
Well, I would recommend that, obviously, we're not gonna be able to approve it tonight, but if you work with our town attorney and our assessor, make it just like your other, way your other peers have, then we can grant the future, you know what I mean? It is not tied to the town.
And that's, in a sense, that's your biggest hang up is the,
Well, I'm getting that to the feeling of the board right now, that's gonna be hang up.
sure.
So, but I think.
And I guess my question would just be, talking about them other parcels that have multiple, is it that they have their individual tax codes for that parcel?
They do.
Or-
Some of the ones you meant, they do, you know what I mean? An outlot is basically, we have a lot of these little pieces here and there that we technically, and we really don't deal with outlots. Usually, somebody buys a home, maybe they may buy an outlet that goes with it, you know what I mean? So,
And I mean, that's kind of what we were trying to do on that 23rd, 2023 meeting, was to have the town say they don't have any ownership in this, and that with the documentation that we have, it does fall back on the 20 homeowners. So then it's just a matter of,
tying it with a tax deed, probably the easiest thing that I can think of is tying it with your other lot right across from there, if that's possible. But again, I don't know that there'd be an assessor, a town attorney to draft that. Any questions? What do you guys wanna do?
No, I think that, we can get that taken care of, someone owns it. Yep. And it benefits you guys also have property, as an assumption that can never take away from you guys.
It's gonna make it a lot cleaner if you build it.
yeah, and that's kind of what we've been looking for all along. It's just a definite answer on yea or nay, and we kind of thought the 2023 meeting kind of did that, as far as them saying, there are some statements and notes in here that I got from even the town that just says that they don't believe that the town has any ownership of it. So, I guess for us, what is that next step?
No, as I mentioned, I would defer you to work with, the assessor and get that cleaned up, and then we can
Okay.
have this come back on the agenda right away and get it approved.
So are we just gonna hold the application then at this time?
Yeah, I would recommend holding the application. We can't prove anything in terms of legal stuff. So, Tony, how long do you think something like that would take to work with you, Kathy, and this gentleman?
That's a good question. 60 days.
I agree with it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say that we don't take any action right now, and just do a motion.
just table,
That's fine, motion to table,
move to table.
a motion to table, second. Aye. Vote, all in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Right.
Correspondence, comments, there are none. Forthcoming events, really, our fishing and parade's coming up last Sunday of July 27th. That's the only thing I have, events, anybody else have any events? Okay, motion to adjourn,
So moved.
the motion to adjourn, second, All right, I'll call for vote. All in favor? Aye, 5:20. Right.
Oh, good.
All right, we'll call this meeting of the Waterford Town Board tonight at 5:30 p.m. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, looking to approval of the town board minutes dated June 9th, 2025, and special meeting minutes dated June 4th and July 2nd, 2025 as printed.
I did have one question under the park and report, paragraph F, can its report the ATV signs? It says for 6 different locations on 83, 36, and 20, essentially every road that enters the township. The DNR offers 2 ways to do signs, one to do it that way and the other one to mark where the route begins and ends within the township. And I thought that's the way we were going. I talked to Tina prior to the meeting and Bob. And at any rate, it has to be done according to state statute and DNR regs, so. Or approve this as it is, or clarify with Ken when he gets back what we, which one of the 2 options for signage we approve. And at any rate, before anybody buys any signs, that we should determine which way we are doing it so that the signs are correct, the wording would be correct. So.
Yeah, that's definitely agreeable, stuff like that, but this doesn't say about purchasing signs or doing anything, just making us aware of what you was.
Right, I just want to make aware that I had a understanding we were going to go the other way with the signs, where the trails start and stop, but that's my only comment.
Okay. Any other comments from anybody else? Looking for a motion to approve.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll move to approve.
Got a motion, looking for a second,
I'll second that motion.
call for vote, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, approval of pay claims as presented treasurer's report. Do I do the treasurer's report?
General tax checking has $151,997. Operating money market, the general, has $780,615. Reserve funds has $1,080,788. And then as of July 9th, we moved, as of the last meeting, we moved out some of that for valuation, we moved some out of there, so.
Correct, sitting inside, yep.
And then the loan balance, I put that on there now is $790,590.
Thank you. Any questions regarding the treasurer's report and the payables? I'm looking for a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the minutes or the treasurer's report.
Thank you, Tom. Got a motion to approve, looking for a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, call for vote, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, we got some correspondence. We gotta I want to take an opportunity to thank Matt Plaisnell and the Screaming Eagles Baseballs for their $150 donation to our Parks Department. Screaming Eagles are the local youth baseball organization with kids in Waterford, Wind Lake, Muskego, and surrounding areas. They hold their kickoff invitation every year at a town park. Again, thank you for your donations. All right, we have another thank you from the Village of Wind Point. This one's a little bit more lengthier, but I'm not gonna read the whole thing. It's basically our DPW went to help the Village of Wind Point when the storms came through and they needed help with a lot of cleanup. So they were very happy that our DPW went there, and they said your willingness to lend a hand in our time of need is a testament to the spirit of regional cooperation and community partnership that we value so deeply. Moments like this highlight the importance of strong relationships between municipalities, and we are incredibly proud to be part of a network of communities that look out for one another. So, and I want to thank all the DPW guys that went there. So thank you. All right, moving on to department committee reports. Greg Horace, Racine County Supervisor. Horace, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Fairly brief report this month. Just want to let everybody know that the resolution that had been before the county regarding the difficulties of the racism concerns that happened at a track meet at Waterford High School has been addressed, and it was passed by the county. I am pleased to say that it was reworked appropriately, because when all of the investigations were done, we found out that there really was only one high school student from Waterford that was involved in any of this. Candidly, there was unfortunately members of other schools that were involved in this that we found out about. And over 40 people were interviewed through this, as well as video and audio tapes that allowed us to really understand what the information was. So when the final resolution got passed, it got passed and it never mentioned Waterford in it whatsoever, because frankly, it was not a Waterford High School situation. It was really a, let's just call it an event situation. So all the others have been involved. I can share with you that a couple of things. One, there is going to be a meeting that will involve Waterford High School, but a number of other schools in the area. Somewhere probably around the third week of August, that will involve some members of Milwaukee to be able to address the whole topic of racism. But again, I emphasize it's not a Waterford issue. So kudos went out to Superintendent Francois and the staff for their quick response and how they addressed the situation in their investigation. And I'm pleased to say that it came back very favorable in that regard. So we can say thanks and give our appreciation to Luke and his staff over there for handling it in such a professional and efficient manner. The only other two items that I have today are more just FYIs. Two items that are coming before the county on a regular basis right now is the topic regarding solar farms and cell towers. We have had to rewrite the county ordinance regarding the development of solar farms in order to address the amount of requests that are coming in now, obviously utilizing predominantly farmers' land that are willing to in fact either lease it or sell it. And so those are items that are right now coming up. There's one right now that we're going to be acting on probably in the next 2 weeks in the town of Dover. There is nothing right now that is in the town of Waterford. So that isn't a topic to worry about or be concerned at this moment, but I am making you aware that this is something that has come up. And the other part of that is the cell phones, cell phone towers. I can share with you that there's been a number of them that have come through, and there's a lot of negative feedback regarding cell towers and certainly what they're like when they get put into people's backyards. I can tell you that nobody has a problem with them until it ends up being in their backyard, and then everybody has a problem with them. So those are the only two to just make you all aware of. And I'm happy to answer any other questions at this point as you'd offer. Anything.
I have none. Anybody else?
I'm sorry. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you. And Tom, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the police department.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members. This month, for the month of June, we had a total of 486 calls. We had 40 traffic violations, 63 rescue runs, 17 reckless driving complaints, 27 voting violations, 18 civil troubles, 11 family troubles, 25 liquor compliance calls, 6 ordinance violations, and 11 parking violations. We had our 4th of July parade. Everything went well without incident, so I'm happy to report that. For the water patrol, we had 26 boating violations on the lake and on the river. We had 1 boat fire and 1 special event, which was the Tishigan tie-up, which we had, I think, 17 calls for that event by itself. So everything went well. And that's all I have for you.
Hey, any questions? Mike?
I have a couple.
Yes, sir.
So it recently was brought up that we decided that we weren't going to be having an officer on 3rd shift. There's mention of the July 2nd special meeting. Do you know who that we is and how long it's been since we've fully covered or attempted to cover 3rd shift?
I do not have that information for you. I believe that was a board decision as far as it was never brought up to me at all.
Okay.
Since I've been in charge of it.
I appreciate that. I haven't been able to find it in board minutes, and so I was just wondering if you knew where that came from.
No, sir, I do not.
I also understand that we have increased our ranks. There's some hiring that's been happening.
We did rehire an officer That's Officer Dennis, he was rehired. And that's the only hire that we had.
And
Recently.
who authorized the hire?
I did, it's a rehire.
It's rehired, so I did run it past the chairman, and then I handle it appropriately.
And is everybody aware of why he left in the first place?
Yeah, everything I checked into.
I gave Mr. Zelinski the information.
Okay, I think it's important that the community also be aware that the individual that was just hired back was the officer who was sleeping at the time of the battery on the.
That was never.
On highway.
He was not found, there was no evidence of him sleeping.
Uh,
I mean, I looked at the investigation by the sheriff's department.
So did I.
Okay, but there is no evidence.
The
He was not
allegation,
charged.
the allegation is that he was sleeping. He was
Allegation.
non-responsive to dispatch calls.
Which in that area, we do have radio issues that we have been reporting to the radio tower and to dispatch.
And the report also indicates that there were multiple efforts made and they had no issues receiving calls in that area. So I guess another question for some other time would be, if that's a known area of a reception problem, why would an officer spend so much time in that area if they weren't on a call doing something productive?
We do have an expert attention in that area right now, actually. You know, we did have an officer that had a traffic stop recently who had.
In the DNR parking lot?
No, it's in that area, sir. It's not just one specific location. It's a general area. And I would just like to also review, on some of the things that you said. If we're gonna compare apples to apples, so the sheriff's department had an officer that was caught sleeping on video. He got 2 days off. Officer Dennis got 9 months off.
No, Officer Dennis resigned. He was not punished, he was not penalized, he
Okay.
was not terminated.
But I'm just saying that
He resigned.
that was a loss of income for him for those 9 months because he was being accused of something that there was no evidence of him doing. In the final report, they did not find him guilty of sleeping. They found him guilty of being unfit for duty because he was working too many hours.
Appreciate it.
And I did contact his chief in Burlington, and we did have a good conversation. We both agreed that between himself and myself, that we are gonna keep an eye on his hours and make sure that does not happen again. Officer Dennis is highly respected in the city of Burlington Police Department, and he's well respected even among our own staff and community here in Waterford. So I'm happy to have him back.
Okay, thanks.
So I got a question for you. If there was an investigation done, how come the rest of the board didn't know about it when this was going on? I don't recall any minutes or anything to talk about Officer Dennis being investigated by the St. County Sheriff.
All the investigations were discussed at numerous meetings. If you don't recall that, I can't help that. If you don't remember that, I can't help that, but they were discussed repeatedly, numerous times, over all the issues that we were having going on with the police department. If people choose to not be aware of them because it doesn't suit their purpose, I can't help that either, but they were discussed repeatedly.
All right, we're gonna move on. Chicken Fire Company, please.
I have one other question. Been mentioned about the towing rotation that's taking place, so that's in effect now, so.
It is in effect, and I confirmed that with Director Bratz of the Racine County Communications. So we are still continuing the rotation. So it's gonna be Kales and Ron's, and then that just rotates.
Okay, great. Thank you for clarifying that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, moving on to Chicken Fire Company.
In June, we responded to a total of 47 calls. Of these, 28 were EMS calls. 10 were fire-related incidents, including trees on power line, disabled boats on the lake, and carbon monoxide alerts. Additionally, we managed 6 personal injury accident calls and attended 3 mutual aid box system calls. We inspected 9 homes for smoke detectors and hosted a successful blood drive on June 20th. Furthermore, we assisted the Big Bend Fire Department with their bull riding stampede on June 28th. We also stood by the Tischman Fire Department fireworks, which Lieutenant Groff will speak on that. Lastly, we excited to announce that we will be participating in a Tischman parade on 27th also.
Okay, anything else?
You've got June 27th, is that July 27th?
July.
Did I say?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
July.
All right, moving on to Waterford Waterway Management
Oh,
District.
there's still.
Oh, Joe, you wanna talk?
If you don't want.
Sure, no, go ahead. Tell us, update, wait.
So I just wanted to touch base with you guys about the fireworks. We obviously had the march set on fire and
Just hold on.
so everybody can hear.
So we had the barge fire and we just want to touch base and let you guys know what happened. The company that put this on ignored us 3 different times about the barge floating away. At what point do we get to pull the plug on this? Because it's unsafe.
Well, I would have to talk to the fireworks committee, that really doesn't report to the town, but I think we should draft a letter and put something in writing to them.
I think that the fire department needs to be a little more in loop with all that and not be ignored.
I was unaware that you guys are being ignored,
And there's $1 million+ homes over there that were in jeopardy.
Was there a special event permit that was pulled for the fireworks?
Yes.
And
We did not sign off on it.
No, not especially.
I don't know who
That's-
signed
Well,
off.
no, that's actually event, but the firework and officer signs off on it.
I think we could definitely address that.
If we want to get in depth with it later, we can. Yeah, so, thank you.
Okay, now Bill, WMD.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Board. On the week of June 16th, we had our herbicide treatment company come out and apply herbicides to the navigation lanes. The following week, the week of the 23rd of June, they applied Priscillacor to Buena Lake. And our harvesting operations, mechanical harvesting operations have been ongoing throughout the year. We did run into a slight issue with harvesting a lot of weeds this year, more than normal, and we really filled up Tom Griles farm. So we ran into an issue there, put that notice right out to the community, and we were fortunate to have some other farmers and other property owners respond, and we're doing okay at this point. So everything's going well with what we're doing. Last week, we were widening the navigation lanes at Buena Lake. We did receive special permission from the Wisconsin DNR to do a skimming of the entire Buena Lake to pull the top of weeds that are there that are all matted up, that are also pulling some algae in and holding a large amount of algae. And the result of all those weeds and the algae and the hot weather and the rain resulted in, unfortunately, dissolved oxygen levels getting pretty low in Buena Lake. So to mitigate that, we are skimming the top of Buena Lake this week. So if anybody sees that, it's a little bit outside the norm for us. That's the reason we're doing it, is we have special permission from DNR to do that, to get the oxygen levels up in the lake. Any questions?
I have none. Maybe a question.
No questions.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Park and Road Department. Dale, and defer to you since Kenny is not here.
Yep, I've got his comments. We got new playground wood chips installed. There'll be crack filling this September. This year's road work to start at the end of July. And if anybody drives down Buena Park Road, we know that's already starting with some culverts being put in and some ditch work and brush work being done. Ken's applying for 4 road grants this fall. Miller Road paving should be going on today. It was milled down last week. And the Station 2 approach should be paved today. He's taking care of concerns. People that call about Buena Park Road as they come in. They move the barricades for better traffic flow. They'll be installing temporary construction signs of 25 miles an hour construction. And we're working on an engine braking sign for Highway 83 coming into the village where it reduces to 40 miles an hour. We had a complaint from some neighbors there. And that's about it.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions?
Hey, Dale, I have a question on the Buena Park Road project. I'm recalling that there was a decision that the crews were going to work on the weekend, or at least last Saturday or previous Saturday. And we need to get sort of a special go ahead to let that happen, and hopefully communicate that out. Are we anticipating Saturday work continuing with that project through its remainder, or was that a one-time kind of thing.
I don't really have any information on that. Tina or Heather, anybody?
Yeah, I was reached out to the other day by Heather, and they wanted to keep going on Saturday, keep on schedule, so I did approve that.
Great, but
So,
Jim, would you be able to touch base with that? Because you.
He just said this past Saturday,
Just the past-
they did
okay,
not
that's
say anything beyond that.
Okay. I would just offer that if we can get that communication flowing as quickly as possible and maybe get awareness out there just for a heads up to the residents who are in that area and are concerned about it. Otherwise, I'm very much in support of whatever the crews need to do to keep the project on track and leverage the weather when it's good. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
We've got to get it completed by the end of August.
okay, let's go into funds for the sale of equipment. You want to bring up how much of the funds are, Heather, you want to bring up the funds?
There's, as of today, because we just received another check, $23,650 in those sale funds. I know one thing was, I think it was a striper. I know one thing was a truck, the old orange, or, whatever it was. The other ones, I'm not 100% certain what it was, but I know in a previous meeting, the DPW director requested that I go back into his equipment or truck fund. And you said we will address that at another time.
Where does the board want to put the money?
Where did it come out of?
Probably the truck purchase fund. So I'd say put it back into the roll.
I would agree with that.
Do you want to take a vote
I'll
on it?
make a motion that we put it back into DPW truck roller account.
Second.
The motion second, call for vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, town planning commission recommendation, wasn't a whole lot, so I'll defer to you.
There were 2 peer permits, one was approved and one was held up. Tabled.
That is it, old business, none. New business, discussion and possible action regarding the police committee charter. Everybody had copies to it, was posted online. Let's discuss it and move forward. Questions on the charter that was drafted, I know Tom worked on it, I worked on it a little bit. I think everybody to review. Questions, well, looking for a motion to approve this.
I have a motion.
Okay, Andrew make a motion to approve, looking for a second.
I'll second that motion.
Motion second, call for discussion.
Yeah, just one item, the second bullet, develop and document effective policies and processes used. I think there should be the word to conduct. Just the word TO should be inserted between used and conduct.
That's a good change, that's fine.
Sorry, where's that again, Dale? I had to find
Both my under objectives.
second bullet under objectives. Okay.
Yeah, process used, then the word to conduct police committee work. The to should be added between used and conduct.
I have a concern on the 5th bullet, that thing. Up under objectives.
Okay.
The first sub bullet under that one discusses the hiring, promotion, disciplinary actions of WPD leadership officers and staff. I think we may run afoul of CBA issues by putting a committee in there, when the CBA has specific requirements and outlines the process that's supposed to be followed.
I'll defer to Mike.
Yeah, I'll run that past, my rep, wait, see what he has to say about that,
Yeah, I thought about the same thing too, but the only thing I was thinking about putting in a hiring, promotions, and actions for WPD and leadership officers and staff. Once we get a chief, then he would be the go-to person, so that's correct. So
Then it's just recommendations, right?
it's just recommendations, yeah, it's not anything like that. So. Any other questions, or comments, or discussion? We have a motion, we have a second, call for vote. All in favor with the change to, and then we'll research that one. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I'll oppose just until it's fixed.
Okay, passes 4-1. All right, chair report. We have new email addresses designed. Thank you, Heather, for getting all that together for all the committees. So those will be posted, sent out to all the people on the committees. Michigan Parade, as I mentioned earlier, July 27th. And there's a special meeting on July 29th, which will be open training class on open meeting law training. So it'll be held by an attorney and it'll be here at the town hall. July 29th at 1 p.m. And we'll be inviting our neighbors to school boards, so if you want to do that. All right, do we have any public comments? I don't have anything here.
Mr. Chairman, I want to make comment on Dale's DPW report. I just want to thank DPW worker Jim Maney for keep up in contact with fire department for the Station 2 work that's being done over there, and Miller Road, which is work to be done. So I just want to thank him for keeping us posted on it. Thanks.
And yes, I do have public comments. Are there any other public comments that were not passed forward? Pardon me? Oh. Who has one that did not pass it forward? Oh, do you have it?
I don't have a form filled out, I just had a question. With open meetings training, is that open to the public? Or-
Yes, we're gonna have a PowerPoint presentation by one of our attorneys, and that way everybody knows.
And then it'll be on Zoom as well, so.
Pardon me? Oh, they're at the back table. Yes. Is it?
Yeah, just get one. comment.
So there will be one more. There will be one more.
All right, Cindy Kelly, you wanted to, general citizen comments, please come up, you have 2 minutes.
Do you have it?
You pass? Okay. All right. Michelle Boris, updates on current events. Huh?
I'll yield my time if somebody wants it.
No, it's 2 minutes. All right. There's another one you said? Okay. Rob Ulander wants to make general comments on board conduct.
Would like to go.
Like to.
All right. I don't know what you're talking about, but.
Unipark.
Unipark, yes.
Unipark. I just want to make the board aware of the problems that the residents are facing on Unipark. It's nasty. I want to thank the police department for spending more time out there, but the situation is dire at times. Saturday morning, 5:04 in the morning, I assuming it was a drunk driver, I have it on tape, so I got cameras, went flying through the barricade, not a sign, the barricade, shattered it all over my front yard. Okay, that's one time. So 2 weeks prior to that, when the sign was down on the corner, before they moved them up in front of my property, a car, had to have been a car, took out one of the barricades coming around the corner. The flagging is horrendous. You know, state statutes are pretty clear about flagging. And yes, they did put an automatic flagging machine out there now, but they're using it selectively. Unipark is dangerous. It is not a good situation right now. Cars are coming head on towards each other, no flaggers. Today, the flaggers were set up down more towards Willow, what's the name of that subdivision there?
Oh, Hickory Hollow.
Yeah. The machines were set up down there, but over in front of the lake group over there, no flagger, one lane, stones piled on the road, a hole in the road, no flaggers. You know, it's gotta stop.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you, did you put your concerns in writing to the police? And
I've talked.
I always just put them in writing.
I've called in a non-emergency. The officers have showed up. They've seen the video. Prior to that, I had my garbage cans actually fly over 100 feet into my yard, spilling garbage everywhere. Of course, they didn't stop, and it's a little difficult for me to pick it up right now. So I'd really appreciate if at bare minimum, start warning them. If not, write them the citations. I mean, the law's the law. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. All right. Somebody, Glenn, you wanted to say something?
In Wisconsin, the town supervisor elected to the chair position is both a member of the legislative board responsible for crafting ordinances and the administration of the municipality. Yes, the town is a municipality, as well as acting as the executive responsible for enforcing the decisions of the board, and is expressed in statute 60.24. The town board chairperson is to assure the administration of statutes and to see that town ordinances are obeyed. Town Ordinance 2.02 says the town chairperson shall not vote on the confirmation of appointment except in cases of a tie vote. Supervisor Sklinski didn't just vote, he seconded the motion to make appointments in May. Supervisor Sklinski has made more motions since becoming chair than anyone else on the board. While this is not a violation of any ordinance or law, it is discouraged by Robert's rules, as the chair of any meeting should maintain impartiality. Ordinance 2.06 says all members of the police department shall be appointed by the town board. This is supported by an email that I received from Supervisor Sklinski on June 5th stating all hiring will be done by the town board. The recent addition of a part-time officer who quit after an investigation shows this ordinance is not being enforced. Supervisor Sklinski has routinely violated Wisconsin statute 19.46 by taking official actions substantially affecting a matter in which an organization with which he is associated has a financial interest. This also potentially implicates the code of ethics in section 1959. Supervisor Sklinski ran for his position on transparency, yet his most diligent work is to keep problems or concerns that arise away from the board and away from the public. He has a pending court case for violating open meetings laws. He is more worried about people finding out about issues than he is in fixing them. Supervisor Sklinski did a disservice to the board and to the community when he withheld application materials for board supervisors and committee appointments until after the board rubber stamped his decisions. He continues to direct the withholding of town documents from the records custodian and members of the board without the authority to do so. Exceeding one's legal authority violates Wisconsin statute 946.12. The good people of this town need to step up and run for these positions so we have board members who have integrity instead of just talking about it. Otherwise, Waterford will get the board it deserves. Supervisor Sklinski isn't just failing to ensure ordinance and statutes are enforced, he is willfully violating them for the benefit of his associates and to prevent open access to and the efficient administration of the town's government. I consider this to be gross neglect of his duties and therefore grounds for removal under Wisconsin statute 17.13. I do not even pretend to believe that this board would vote in favor of removal because sufficient members to block the action either condone the conduct or are complicit in it. So I do this not because I expect the board to do what is right. I say this to build a record for the electorate, for the district attorney, for the Department of Administration, and the Department of Justice.
To adjourn. Second.
We had, are you missing one? There was somebody else who had a.
Kale Bouchon.
Kale.
No, I didn't get that.
Mr. Integrity.
I got the fourth, I didn't see him.
Actually here.
All right, Gail, come on up, please. Tony.
Good evening, board. I'm Cale Gushel. I own Cale's Towing and Recovery. Last night there was a toll call in the village for a car fire up on Jefferson. And rumor has it, a couple of the deputies made it upon themselves to call Ron's personally instead of doing the rotation list. That's happened a couple of times that I know of. Plus, a couple other times, a couple of these officers want to call Ron's personally from their cell phones instead of going through Racine County Dispatch. Something needs to be fixed about it.
You mentioned it earlier.
I know Dale brought it up earlier, which was
And I
fine.
did call check Bratz and an email was confirmed, and we're gonna have that resolved for you, sir.
So hopefully it gets straightened out
It will,
once and for all.
it's straightened out.
Okay, I appreciate
And
that.
if any issues at all, please contact me.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
All right, motion to adjourn. Move to adjourn. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Meeting's adjourned.